I knew if I didn't get our team back on board, we were dead in the water. Everything that we had worked for would be for nothing. Well, howdy there friends, and welcome back to a brand new series of Creative Business Made Simple. I am your lovable host, the artist, author and coach for the creative mind, John Morris, and it is a delight to be back here with you once again in the studio filming on the west coast of Scotland. We've just had a massive storm that's blown through, but thankfully it's not knocked out any of our electrical supplies or technical supplies, and we're doing this. We're back live, large, and in living colour. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the importance of team. Team is one of the most vital things that I have come to appreciate since really 2023. We started to form a team after many years of me doing things by myself. Many times people will get involved with business because they think it's going to be so much easier than going to work 9 to 5. Heck, it's anything but. But here's the reality: when you have a team on board, you have an amazing group of people who you've hired, who you've recruited, who you've worked with, who have been placed in your life divinely in an amazing way. And they are so talented to be able to take the load off of you, which then frees you up to do other things. You might have team members that can go and build websites, VAs, virtual assistants, that can book you on podcasts, that can get you into meetings that never ever would have normally happened because you didn't have the time. And this is what I was finding over and over and over and over again. So when Marcus and Tracy came on board and decided to work with me, this was an amazing opportunity. Tracy came first. She'd been doing my virtual assistant stuff for a little while. She really loved and got into an amazing way, all about our business. Then Marcus came on board after a disastrous thing in his own employment, and he got to really sort of spread his creative skills and his own talents. And basically, I'm kind of a non-micromanager where I'm just like, what needs to be done, just get on and do it. No time limits, nothing like that. We have fun, we have a great time, but inevitably, when you work with a team, whenever you work with other people, you are going to have periods in your life where you butt heads. You literally are almost at a standstill, a standoff, a Mexican standoff, as it were, if you watch the old Western films. And this was something that we all felt very passionate about in terms of Creative Business Made Simple. The show, the podcast, the live vlog, and so much more. We feel really really positive about it, really passionate about it. But there's a problem. When one person has a view of how they want to do things, they can see it clearly in their mind, and they see it all the way through to fruition, and it comes up against somebody else who's been in the industry equally as long, bringing all their skills and bringing all their talents and doing all these things, but they've got a different vision, a different look, a different sort of idea for how they're being branded, for how they want to brand the thing, for how they want to do things. You butt heads. And how you deal with this is going to be the deciding factor whether you're able to work with people successfully or whether it's going to be an out-and-out nightmare. Now, I've worked with other people in the past. I've had some successful partnerships. I've had some absolutely catastrophic, complete blunders of relationships that have quickly dissolved into nothingness. But I was really, really passionate about, Marcus and Tracy working on board. And I always like to, listen to other people's ideas. That is one of the biggest skills that you can ever learn, is to listen to other people. Because you may find that other people have phenomenal ideas. Now, if you've heard other podcasts, you've heard my other shows, I always say that I never ask anybody's opinion unless they have 3 specific qualities and characteristics. It makes me very, very self-conceited, very arrogant, but here's the reason why. Because the majority of people who are going to give you their opinion have no idea what they're talking about. So you only ever want to ask somebody's opinion if they've done what you have done better than you've done, longer than you've been doing it, and they've acquired more success than you're presently having. Those are the only 3 reasons, really, that you want to absorb other people's advice on a sort of long-term basis. Now, there are going to be other people that you have in your life, I hope, that you're going to be able to go to for advice. But in terms of business, those are the three main characteristics that you look for. So it is really, really important to listen to your team's ideas, because they're going to come at things from a different point of view. The other thing about it is, why would you bring other people on as part of your team if you weren't going to listen to them? This is one of the things that I've always found baffling about other business owners, that they bring people in, they employ them stupid amounts of money just so they can tell them what to do and to go and do it. Hey, if you knew how to do what you were doing, you wouldn't need somebody else to be there. Working with other people can be a phenomenal thing, but like I say, when you come up against a problem, it is important to know how to deal with it. That's what this section is going to talk all about. Because the first conversation that the three of us had was, well, I've been doing it this way for a long time, and I've tried this and I've tried that. And basically the idea, from my point of view, was to continue doing it like what we do now. You've got a background, you've got a green screen, you've got all these different things, because I'm not needing to worry then about camera angles. I'm not needing to worry about, takes or the camera working or being in focus or anything like that, because all of that is taken care of. It's the way that I've done it for a long, long time. Marcus's view was, hey, let's look at this with a film camera. Let's try and make this more of a neutral background. Let's try and make this, more of an artsy, kind of crafty music, all the other stuff that's there, kind of feel to it. And initially I was like, don't want to do it. You meet with resistance, and it's a good idea sometimes to explore these things. So we tried filming, and literally I found, that it just wasn't working. But here's the amazing thing. Lesson number 1, at least try what somebody suggests if it has an ounce of potential merit to produce something amazing. Now, what Marcus had suggested had potential to prove prudent and viable for what we were looking for. The trouble was that I wasn't comfortable with it. So when you then have to, go back and forth, and conversations that we had, we've all acknowledged that, hey, we can talk about this, they got heated. And they got heated because you've got a team member who is, very, very standoff, in his views. And then you've got me who's also, got an idea of how we're going to do things. And initially we were butting heads, and Tracy stuck in the middle, and you go through all of these things, you go through these emotions, you get frustrated, you get wound up. There's all sorts of other things going on at the time as well. And you've always got to remember that your frustrations are rarely, if ever, just down to one thing. So the wise thing that I have learned over many, many years, and many years of fluffing it, is when I start feeling like I'm getting frustrated, when wound up, when really just sort of kind of thing, my usual response is, right, let's put a pin in this right now and let's circle back to it. And I will tell people the reason why. It's because I'm feeling frustrated. We're not getting anywhere. We're going round in circles. We're all getting annoyed with each other. This is not productive. However you want to phrase it. And the problem is then that you have in your mind the meeting after the meeting, which is literally you sit down and you rehash a lot of time in private the same conversation that you've just had over and over and over and over and over and over again. So my advice to you is this. If you are working with other people and you are experiencing this, this is what separates the men from the boys, the sort of amateurs from the professionals, the wise from the foolish. Take that time. People say, yeah, but we need to decide right here, right now. No, you don't. Believe me, you don't. You may think you do, but when you remember that nothing that you do actually matters in terms of eternity, then you have literally got no reason to hurry anything. So we put a pin on it. We went, did our, other business stuff and everything else, making sure everybody's all right. You want to make sure that your team is okay, and, you can at least say to them, look, we tried this, but I just didn't feel this. Because at least they feel valued. The approach that I then took was this. Because as I sat there, as we talked about right at the beginning of the show, I knew if we didn't get our team back on board, if we didn't create harmony within our team, we were dead in the water. And we're at the position right now where things are starting to take off. Where I look at it and I'm like, oh boy, trying to do this by myself when I know the success that we have been able to have as a team versus trying to do it all by myself. It's massive. So I sat there and I'm molding, I simmered and everything else. And then I started to reflect on it and tried what was being asked of me and everything else. And it didn't work out in the way that we wanted it to. So I said, right, look. And this was yesterday morning. It was a Sunday morning. I was in the gym where some of my best thinking gets going. And I said, look, we've tried it this way. And I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't feel it's got the same energy. I don't feel this. And we're going to go in this direction. These are the reasons why. Okay, so again, you want to say it very calmly. And the most important thing you want to say to your team is, I want you with me on this. You may not agree with me on this. You may not have, the same passion about it that you did before. But I want you with me on this. Because it makes your team feel involved. And when your team feels involved and valued and cared about, then regardless of the idea, oftentimes they're going to say, well, let's take something that I'm not overly passionate about and let's turn it into champagne. They've got a phrase for that, but I'm not going to mention that on this show. And that's what we did. But that one conversation where I was able to say, look, I'm going to go with the green screen. I'm going to go with the traditional background. These are the reasons why, ... Have a conversation about it. Done. These are phenomenal tools. Now, you may sit there and you may say, well, John, why didn't you just do that in the first place? When you are really passionate about something, it is very easy, especially for creative minds, to not get out of control, but somewhat lose themselves in the passion. Because you want things to succeed, you want things to build, you want things to grow, you might have a great idea for it. And it's reminding your team as well that, look, this isn't my first go-round. I worked with the Los Angeles Tribune. I had my own stellar hit show. I've done the Mind, Body and Soul show for many years. I've done this, I've done that, I've done the other. And then having that little conversation where you sit down calmly and collectively together to be able to say, this is what I've actually done. It makes a humongous difference. Do you see the difference between the first conversation we had, which was butting heads, anger, fury, really wound up to the point that you're sitting there saying, gosh, can I do this? Versus we're going in this direction after exploring all of the possibilities. We're going in this direction. This is the reason why. And this is what's going to make it successful. So you may say, John, what were some of the reasons why you went for this? Well, let me tell you, because this brings it on to point 3, and we're going to cover this in an episode all by itself. It is all about knowing how to acquire attention for your business. In this world that we live in, this crazy, crazy world, the most valuable commodity that people are looking for every single day is attention. That is literally everybody on the planet that is a social media marketer, an influencer, whatever they might be, is literally an attention-deprived, attention-seeking lunatic. And it's as simple as that. That is the reason that we're on there. That is the reason that people are actually going off the deep end when they don't get 1 million views or 1 million likes on a video that should have done absolutely phenomenal. So, my learned friends that are in the artistic community, whether you're an author, an artist, a musician, you will know the power of presence. Now, what is the power of presence? Well, the power of presence is when you step out onto a stage, when you start a conversation, when you enter a room, all eyes are on you. You have the ability to command an audience. You have the ability that when you open your mouth, people listen. in a world, in the life coaching industry, where you have suits, as I call them. Tony Robbins goes out on stage, he's in a suit. Cody Sanchez goes out on stage, he's in a suit. Gary Vee goes out on the stage looking like a homeless guy, but that's, personal preference. What I'm saying is the majority of people go out there in suits. And then you've got me. When I go out there, when I do these shows, when I do the reels, and I'm sitting there with this background, dressed as I am, people stop to listen. Because it's what we call in the psychological world a thought pattern interrupt. It means literally that your mind, your attention has been pulled from something that you're thinking about because there has been a disturbance in what you perceive to be normal. What you perceive to be ordinary. What you perceive to be the mundane. People work in sort of patterns. They work in day-to-day experiences. They usually have the same 60,000 thoughts today that they had yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And so on and so on and so on. But when you have somebody that comes out and speaks in a different way, that acts in a different way, that dresses in a different way, but also can back it up by knowledge, that gets your attention. And that's why we're here. Because with Creative Business Made Simple, our aim is to help you get your business from where you are to where you want to be and beyond. We don't just work with you on a business professional level. We also work with you as a person. And as you've seen in this episode, we also address the conversations and the topics that other people just want to stay away from because they're embarrassed. They say, well, no, that should never have happened if you're a professional. Yes, it does. Let's not kid ourselves. You're telling me that Tony Robbins doesn't have a really frustrated day, that Cody Sanchez doesn't have a really frustrated day, that Gary Vee doesn't speak, out and out, crass, crude, whatever, to his employees, his staff from time to time? You wouldn't be human. And it's all part of the journey. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it, folks. If you are looking to get your business from where you are to where you want to be, and you have really found this valuable, first of all, go and hit that subscribe button and tell your friends. Those are the only two things I want you to do. Once you've done that, click the link in the section below that can help you get to our website where we can provide great content for you, not only via blogs and all the free stuff, but also through the more focused stuff, shall we say. We've got books out, we've got courses out, we've got one-on-one coaching, and we've also got group coaching that we are putting together as well, designed to help you get from where you are to where you want to be in your business endeavors organically from someone who has actually done it. And if that sounds awesome to you, don't delay, don't wait, because these places are of limited availability. We've only got 10 places that I'm going to be coaching with one-on clients, and we've probably got a slightly larger group availability, but it's only going to happen once a week. So literally do not delay, because this year deserves to be your year. And I'm so excited for the adventure that we're going to be on together. Hopefully you are too. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Take care, God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.